If job hunting were an industry, it would be the most predatory, exploitative, and legally questionable one out there. We know it's a scam, but we're forced to play along because survival isn't optional. We need to eat, we need health care, we need to keep a roof over our heads. It's a hostage situation disguised as opportunity. It's like getting mugged at gunpoint and then handed a survey that says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how empowered did you feel during your assault today? Fake jobs, also called ghost jobs, make up nearly half of all job postings. They're there to reassure investors, keep employees in line, and create the illusion of growth and stability. None of them are real. But there's another side to them. 62% of companies admit that they post fake job listings just to make their current employees feel replaceable and insecure. Excuse me, what? Think about what that means. You're showing up, you're giving your best, maybe you're even hoping for a raise, while your employer quietly reminds you that you are replaceable. It's not only disgusting, it's deliberate. The whole process is designed to keep people anxious, exhausted, and willing to accept less, because the more desperate you are, the less likely you are to demand fair pay, respect, or even basic human decency. The truth behind why companies do this isn't just shady business. It is psychological warfare. It's deliberate cruelty. And trust me, you haven't seen the worst of it yet, so just stick with me. The job market isn't real. Not in the way that they sell it to us anyway. It's not a system that's designed to help you find work. It's a system designed to keep you in a constant state of uncertainty. The job market isn't some fair competition. It's a game that's been rigged from the start. You sit in a waiting room for months thinking that your turn is coming. Meanwhile, the CEO's nephew, whose biggest professional accomplishment is having the same last name as the boss, strolls in, cuts the line, and gets hired. And you? You get a rejection email that sounds like it was written by ChatGPT drunk texting at 3 a.m. I know this because I've lived it. After 30 years as a product professional in tech, I thought my experience was my safety net. Then I got laid off, and watching this broken system grind me down day by day, at first you tell yourself you just need to try harder, right? One more resume tweak, one more networking event. But after months and months of this, you start applying to anything, jobs that you're overqualified for, jobs that barely cover your rent, just to feel employable again. And even then, nothing happens. That's not just frustrating, that's psychological warfare. That's the scam, a corporate endurance test designed to keep you desperate. And it's why people in their 40s, 50s, and beyond are constantly told that they're overqualified. Because what companies really mean is you cost too much, you know your worth, and you're too experienced to be gaslit into doing 3 jobs for 1 salary. They don't want expertise, they want compliance. Basically, if you've ever said no to a meeting that could have been an email, you're already too powerful, my friend, too powerful. Job seekers over 40 aren't just fighting a broken system, they're fighting to prove that they're still worth hiring. And that's freaking insane when you consider that decades of experience should be a strength, not a liability. You might think that companies are just bad at hiring, but they're not. They're not. This isn't incompetence. It's a business model. And if you think the real challenge is impressing a hiring manager, well, ha ha ha, joke's on you. Because first, you have to impress an algorithm. Your resume isn't getting rejected by a hiring manager. It's getting bounced by AI that can't tell the difference between a software engineer and a sandwich artist. And it thinks that Scrum is a type of seafood and Agile is a yoga pose. Because nothing says human resources like AI with the intelligence of a magic 8-ball deciding if you deserve to keep your house. Financial stress is bad enough, but what happens when months and months of rejection start tearing apart your mental health? Because job hunting isn't just stressful. It's a psychological horror movie that's playing on loop. And guess who the star is? It's rejection after rejection. It's unpaid labor and financial stress all wrapped up in a system that's designed to make you feel like the failure. And even if you make it to the actual hiring manager, the process is designed to test your endurance, not your skills. It's all about how much corporate nonsense you're willing to tolerate. First, there's the screening call, right? Where they confirm that you're basically a real person and not a cat walking across the keyboard. Then comes the second interview where they ask you what you'd bring to the company, as if the answer isn't labor in exchange for money. Oh, what would I bring to the company? Bitterness, a vague sense of doom, and a raging caffeine addiction. Then it's the skills test, the case study, the panel interview, the culture fit discussion, because nothing says healthy workplace like needing to vibe check your trauma response before onboarding. If your company culture involves mandatory pizza parties and optional therapy, you better jet. Just run. And then after all of this, what do we get? Silence. Silence. You email them a week later and they say they're still deciding. 3 months go by, then they repost the job. At no point in this whole process does anyone respect you or your time. And that's the thing. This isn't just annoying. It's not just inefficient. It is a slow, calculated breakdown designed to make you question your own value. 6 months in, I wasn't job hunting anymore. I was absolutely unraveling. I'm sitting there at 2 a.m. in the same clothes that I've been wearing for 3 days, squinting at job listings for an entry-level product ninja, wondering if my mortgage will just accept resilience as payment. The uncertainty messes with you. The financial stress plus the constant uncertainty, that is a direct highway to anxiety and depression. You start wondering if it's just you, if you're the only one who can't make it work. Maybe you're the problem. I know I started thinking that maybe I just should have lied and said that I thrive in chaos and I love working on weekends. And if that's where you are, I offer one-on-one sessions where you can get honest support from someone who's been there, okay? Because the job search isn't just a broken system, it's a profit-driven machine designed to wear you down. Because the more exhausted you are, the more willing you are to accept anything just to stop the suffering. If you've ever hit that point where job hunting started messing with your head, or where you went from frustrated to straight up questioning your worth, I want to hear about it. I want to hear from you. What's the moment that made you go, wait, is it me? Because I promise it's not. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Now, this isn't just about feelings. It's not just in your head. The psychological toll of job hunting is real, and science even backs it up. One day I realized that I wasn't just exhausted. I was suffering real psychological harm. Rejection breeds self-doubt, and studies show that repeated job rejections trigger the same regions as physical pain in your brain. It doesn't feel like a job search anymore. It feels like a test of your worth as a person. And every rejection, every ignored application, every ghosted interview feels like proof that you aren't good enough. At first, it's frustrating. Then it's exhausting. Then it's personal. Because how can you not take it personally when the world keeps telling you that you're not what we're looking for over and over again? This isn't just about stress. It rewires the way that you see yourself. It eats away at your self-confidence, your plans, and your future. This isn't just hurting individuals. This is an entire workforce being psychologically broken down and being convinced that you were never good enough to begin with. And don't think that you're safe just because you have a job, because companies weaponize this same insecurity against their own employees too. It's like the corporate version of it's not you, it's me, except it is you and your age and experience and your salary expectations. If you think the job hunt is soul-crushing, wait until you see how companies weaponize job insecurity against their own employees. Because here's the thing, this isn't just about job seekers. The fear and instability is just as real for people who already have a job. Because companies don't just use job postings to hire, they use them to control. You ever see your company post a listing for your exact job with your exact title and think, is that for me? Right? That's not an accident. They want you to see it. They want you to know that you're replaceable. They want you so unsure of your own job security that you'll put up with whatever they throw at you. If this happens to you, I want you to notice it, right? You're going to start working harder. You're going to start staying late. You'll double check every email, over explaining everything, trying not to make waves, keeping your head down, saying yes to things that absolutely burn you out. Because what if this is a test? What if they're watching? What if the moment you stop scrambling, you're the one that's getting replaced? They'll cut bonuses. They're going to overload you with work, make you train the new hire who's getting paid more than you, but you'll stay quiet because at least you have a job. And they know this, right? They count on it. That's why they never actually tell you that your job is safe. They give you just enough uncertainty to keep you scared, just enough fear to keep you compliant. Because as long as you're terrified of losing what little you have, you won't ask for more. Because it's not just about hiring, it's about power. Real power isn't firing people, it's making them so terrified they never even think about leaving. If you've ever thought to yourself, I really hate this job, but I just don't want to start over, congratulations. The system is working on you exactly as it was designed. Because job insecurity isn't just a side effect, it's the entire point. They don't just want workers, they want hostages. Turns out a job is just Stockholm syndrome with health insurance. And the worse job hunting gets, the more people cling to whatever stability they have, even if it's killing them. And this is why companies aren't going to fix the hiring process, because the worse it is, the more grateful employees are not to be in it. That's what job insecurity does. It doesn't just exhaust you, it rewires your brain. It makes you question every decision, every risk, every moment you should be standing up for yourself, but don't. Because what if they fire you? What if they replace you? And what if you end up back at square one? But there's one last piece of this puzzle that you need to hear because it does flip this entire conversation on its head. Now, they sold us the lie that this is just how it is, right? That if you're struggling to find work, you must be the problem. That getting ghosted, underpaid, and run through an unpaid obstacle course is just part of the process. But more and more people are waking up to the truth. Job hunting is a scam that destroys your mental health. The biggest lie is that companies are struggling to find workers. They're not. They're struggling to justify paying people what they're worth. So they ghost, delay, and demand free labor, not because they have to, but because it benefits them. Job hunting isn't inefficient. It's working exactly as designed. And that's why so many of us are exhausted, anxious, and beating ourselves up for something that was never our fault to begin with. So let me say this loud and clear. You were never the problem. It was never your resume, your experience, your skills, your personality. It was always the system. And once you realize that, you'll stop asking for permission. You stop begging to be treated like you're worth something because you know that you already are. This isn't just a broken job market, it's a mental health crisis. The anxiety, the burnout, the self-doubt, the more they drag this process out, the worse it gets. And they don't care because your exhaustion is what keeps this scam running. More and more people are waking up and refusing to accept this, and they're calling it out for what it is. And that's not failure. That's reclaiming your voice, your worth, and your power. This system thrives on your silence. So stop whispering your worth and start demanding it, because respect isn't optional, dignity isn't negotiable, and frankly, HR deserves to sweat a little bit. Now, if this hit a nerve with you, I want you to watch this video next, because this is what happens when someone sees through the scam and decides to fight back. This is a story that you really shouldn't miss.